So by the instruction of Sripad Agnidev Prabhu and Sripad Damodar Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnava and Vaishnavis, by their order and request, I am going to serve Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 28, Text 43. So we are going to recite the verse. Before that, just for my own sake to understand what we are discussing, we will read the synonymous first, just by myself, and then we will do it. Patim, her husband. Parama, supreme. Dharma, Jnam, knower of religious principles. Vaidharvi, the daughter of Vidarbha. Malaya Dwajam, named Malaya Dwaja. Premna, with love and affection. Prayacharata, Parjacharat, served in devotion. Hitva, giving up. Bhogan, sense enjoyment. Sha, she. Pati, Devata, accepting her husband as the Supreme Lord. Patim parama dharmajnam, Vaidarbhi malayadajam, Premna parjacharadvitva, Bhogan satpati devata, Patim parama dharmajnam, Vaidarbhi malayadvajam, Premna parjaradvitva, Bhogan sapati devata, Patim parama dharmajnam, Vaidarbhi malayadvajam, Premna parjaradvitva, Bhogan sapati devata. Anyone else? Patim parama dharmajnam, Vaidarbhi malayadvajam, Premna parjacharadvitva, Bhogan sapati devata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The daughter of King Vidarbha accepted her husband, all in all, as the supreme. She gave up all sensual enjoyment and in complete renunciation followed the principles of her husband. Who was so advanced, thus she remained engaged in his service. Purport. Figuratively, King Maladwaja is the spiritual master and his wife, Vaidhervi, is the disciple. The disciple accepts the spiritual master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Gurvastaka, Shakshar Haritvena, one directly accepts the Guru, the spiritual master, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should accept the spiritual master not in the sense that Mayavadi philosophers do, but in a way recommend here, since the spiritual master is the most confidential servant of the Lord. He should be treated exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The spiritual master should never be neglected or disobeyed like an ordinary person. If a woman is fortunate enough to be the wife of a pure devotee, she can serve her husband without any desire for sense gratification. If she remains engaged in the service of her exalted husband, she will automatically attain the spiritual perfections of her husband. If a disciple gets a bona fide spiritual master, simply by satisfying him, he can attain a similar opportunity to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Yenanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmitam Jena Tasmai Sri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stavitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Tadatisha Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakharnitamscha Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Deshatadini Vancha Kalpataruvescha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Sirupasi Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Sri Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Sri Krishna Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurati Namo He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Hari Vrindaye Tulasi Devaye Priyaye Keshavasya Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Sattavati Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama thank you for allowing me to serve Srimad Bhagavatam, and I feel grateful, thankful to Prabhu and Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas. These Trinadad devotees are very nice, soft-hearted, and we find almost like easy to preach in the public world here than some other places, because some other people are very pious. It must be influence of Agnidev Guru's going Harinam every day, and the devotees since long time distributing prasadam and books. So that's wonderful. Rajarshi Guru preaching so much, and Sripad Damodar Maharaj also preaching, all the devotees. And there is an effect. We see that the publics, they get effect. In this verse and the purport, Srila Prabhupada, the way he put it, I see, it's almost complete. There is no need to further description. It's so complete itself. And he, just for our understanding, those who are traveling, some of you with me, you may not have heard the name Malayadwaja. He's a very famous king. And in Brahma Bhagavata Pran, there is a pastime of Malayadwaja and Narad Muni also. In reference to this, Sanatana Goswami Pad gives a little insert that there is a pastime took place, but I will see if I have time. It's a little longer pastime. And then also we understand this 28th chapter, Puranjan story. From the very beginning of this 5th chapter, Narad Muni is so mercifully explaining to King Prachin Bahi, who told his sons, 10 sons, Prachetas, to go and do austerity, but not knowing what will be the outcome of the austerity yet, because from the beginning till end, when he gave up his life, end of this chapter you will see, that he did not meet his children. And Srila Prabhupada summarized very uniquely last 10 sloka of this chapter, that what is the outcome between Pracheta's view of the instruction. And one point in this also verse stressed, most important, following the instruction of spiritual master. And spiritual master is as good as Supreme Person of Godhead. In previous chapter also, previous canto, you'll see Srila Prabhupada writes, just like for a child, parents are like Supreme God. For a wife, husband is like Supreme God. Like means directly, presently. Because those personality, they have a affection and care so much for the affectionate object called disciple or children, that they always look for the highest and best success and perfection in life of their affectionate object. That's why they are always promoted by the Shastra. And if they follow the instruction of Guru, then they will be eternally indebted. From the very beginning of this subject matter of Prachin Bahi, the Prachin Bahi, why did he narrate story of Puranjan to, why Narad Muni narrated story about Puranjan to Prachin Bahi? Because he has a compassionate nature. Narad Muni saw this Prachin Bahi, he is an expert. The name Prachin means what pointed up. Bari is everywhere. Srila Prabhupada translates Prachin Bari means he who planted the kusa grass, every part of the entire planet. What does that mean? Srila Prabhupada says that he performed the jhana, rituals, activities called karma kanda, everywhere, including Trinidad, America, all over the world. Srila Prabhupada says, all over the world. So, if you think of a first-class karma kandi, Prachin Bari is the best. Daksha, there are many examples there, but Prachin Bari is the one who actually performed jhana all over the planet. But what is the outcome after doing everything? Narad Muni, the merciful Guru, like Prabhupada says, Guru is like Supreme God, Ashray Bhagavan, Vishray Bhagavan, we'll discuss that. Then Ashray Bhagavan is so much compassionate, so much affection for his disciple Prachin Bari, that he narrated this story. Why? Because Prachin Bari has a one inclination. He likes to hear about gossip of some pastime story. Whatever the inclination disciple has, Guru find that particular quality and engage. In early days, Shyama Sundar Prabhu in Bombay, he narrates that there is 6 types of perception that Srila Prabhupada explains. And one perception was that when the devotee came back from the preaching, then preaching, they were sort of complaining a little bit about how the Bombay people thought all the Hare Krishnas are CIA agent. So they told this to Prabhupada, they think we are CIA agent. They say, what they are doing, because they never saw something. And Srila Prabhupada also was very surprised. They said, why they are chanting, what they are chanting? Even though they hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And they inquire, where did they get from? America, why America produced this kind of chanting? And Srila Prabhupada was surprised. He said, this is coming from this country, from the land of bhakti, and they are asking, it is imported from America. He was very surprised. So after they complained, then Srila Prabhupada says, the 6th class of people, they see everything is bad in this world. They do not see any good. And the good example is Duryodhana. When Bhishmadev and Dronacharya, both are pure devotee, so they had a little meeting and then they thought, what will be the outcome of the battle before, let's have a little test. So they called the leader of both sides, Duryodhana and Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he says, can you please straddle the world and tell us how many good people and how many bad people? So they went opposite, so they don't have to see each other too much. So they went opposite and they came back. When they came back, then they reported. So they asked Duryodhana first, knowing that he wants to talk first, that he says, oh, I travel all over the world. What did you see? There is nobody good. It's all bad. Not even one. So well, except me, I didn't see anybody good. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj, he comes and they ask the same question but not in front of Duryodhana. So then he says, everybody is good. He found good in everyone. And then Dronacharya looking at Bhishmadev, Bhishmadev said, yes, we see the outcome, that Krishna is in the favor of Pandava, he will win. Because the last leg of the dharma in this age, this was like just like the end of Dwapara, where the war took place. So he said, okay. Yudhishthira Maharaj says, I am the only one who had some bad mentality. Everybody else I saw so many good quality everywhere. So this is the Prabhupada says, this is the 6th quality. Then above them, there is another category of people in this world who sees good and bad, but they don't notice the bad. They only notice they don't notice the good, they only notice the bad. Then above them there is another category who sees good and bad, but they take a little bad and magnify like a giant, overshadow the good. So then Srila Prabhupada put a pause. He says, devotee should be above this thing. Then he narrates this. That the devotee are kind of a quality that they are seeing good and bad, they are not blind, but they focus on the good. Even though bad they see, but they are not focusing. Then above that, those devotees, they magnify the good so much so that bad is like not visible in their perception, even though it's there. Then the best one, Srila Prabhupada says, are the preachers who follows the instruction of Guru, just like Prabhupada says here in the purport. Then they have to dedicate their life, thinking, willing, feeling, entire life they have to dedicate. Preacher means they have to dedicate their life to find within the worst quality of any living being, a little quality that they can see can be engaged in Krishna. And Prabhupada says every living being has a one quality minimum that can be engaged in Krishna. So what the preacher do? The preacher or the devotees who are preaching, they go and see that quality and they are very technically blow the air and fan that little spark, and it comes out slowly, slowly. Not too much, then it will extinguish. Not too little, then it won't come out. Just proportion. They are so good, they are called Guru. They are so good that they make the disciple trained in such a way, slowly, slowly the little spark comes out, Prabhupada says, that it becomes a blazing fire. When that little quality of a worse person in this world comes out to engage in devotional service, then this fire itself will extinguish the rest of the material condition for that soul. That is required. Then he will submit fully to the lotus feet of his Guru Maharaj. Like Srila Prabhupada always used to see his Guru Maharaj in everybody doing anything. Like Ranjit Prabhu, he told me, he paid obeisances when he was taking initiation in Vrindavan. So when he paid obeisances, he said, Jai Prabhupada. And Prabhupada says, Jai Prabhupada. He was a little confused. Why did he say Jai Prabhupada? I say Jai Prabhupada because he is Prabhupada. So then Prabhupada chanted the mantra to his ear. In this chapter also you will see, or the previous chapter, that Guru gives the mantra through the right ear. The process is given, very sweet. So after finished the mantra, then he paid obeisances and chanted the Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. And after he finished the mantra, he said, Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, Jai Prabhupada. He got really confused. So then he asked the servant, he said, did I do something wrong? I said Jai Prabhupada. He also said Jai Prabhupada. So he said, why don't you come and ask Prabhupada? He said, Prabhupada, this devotee wants to know. Anybody knows Ranjit Prabhu? He's from South Africa. Very nice devotee, used to be in Mayapur. So then Prabhupada said, yes. He said Jai Prabhupada because he's addressing you, but you said Jai Prabhupada. He said, yes. He paid obeisances to my Guru Maharaj and he said Jai Prabhupada and I had to say Jai Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is so, practically that's how he used to see. Fortunately they asked the question. Otherwise he always seen that his Guru Maharaj is acting through him and using him. Even the Gaudiya Math, Srila Siddhar Maharaj says, during Srila Prabhupada, our Prabhupada's time, he said he saw Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's presence in this world through our Prabhupada. And he said he felt the presence of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur while our Prabhupada was preaching this world. So he said that was the greatest thing that Srila Prabhupada gave to his god brother that brought Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur in this world back again and manifested his preaching power. So Srila Prabhupada satisfied everyone and he has established this. So in this Puranjan story that Narad Muni narrated this slowly, he narrated in an indirect way that he gave this apparently you may say allegory story, and it is. But this has some truth of the reality of practical happen. Like Magadhaja king, there was a Magadhaja king. And there was also Narad Muni who was very persistent to the Lord. One time he said, "My Lord, I always go to the material world and I see that so many people are suffering due to separation from you. But what they actually experience, the three modes of material nature, I never really understood that. What is that experience they do?" So the Lord says, "I cannot let my pure devotee suffer." Now this question is very technical. That does pure devotee suffer or not suffer? Now to Madhusudan Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada writes, you can see in Vedabase, did Bhaktivinoda Thakur was impersonalist? He writes like this to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, yes. Just like Arjuna was put into illusion, Lord Buddha preached atheistic philosophy. Similarly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to go through all this impersonalism. He even came to a point where he did not accept Lord Krishna as a God, but he accepted Lord Chaitanya as a God. Then he found Lord Chaitanya accept Lord Krishna as a supreme God. So then he accepted through Lord Chaitanya, and it was easy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in his own diary. And this way he went through. Why they have to go through this? Because when they come to this world, they really don't know exact miserable condition that each conditioned soul suffer through. They never come under Mahamaya, they are under Yogamaya, but the experience of the conditioned soul, they have to accept some experience in order to give proper medicine. Just like a doctor, if I am sick, if I go to a CVS, pharmacy, no CVS here, but pharmacy, if you go, or maybe there is CVS, the big pharmacy store in America. So you go to pharmacy store, you don't just buy a bottle of medicine to cure it. You generally consult a doctor if the disease is serious. So doctor is very efficiently negotiate between the patient's disease condition and the medicine available. And he goes back and forth. So for each patient, he gives a different medicine. But if somebody goes on his own to explore this cure, he may be disappointed, he may not get cured. So that's why Guru is very important. Guru, one who negotiates between the medicine world, what is the appropriate medicine, and the condition of the disease of the patient. And even after the soul start getting, or the patient getting cured, after curing the disease, that doesn't mean he's healthy. Sometimes we feel, we've been here a long time in this process, it seems like we're not getting. Sometimes some devotee has some kind of feeling. Well, there is some healthy nutrition food also required. After I get out of the disease, by following Prabhupada's instruction, getting out of the disease, that doesn't mean that I'm healthy. I still need some nutrition food and take care of the body, then come to normal Krishna consciousness. And that is called advanced sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is a backbone in our spiritual process. Most important. So following Guru's instruction and associating with those devotees who will establish and make my faith more stronger, to have more faith towards Prabhupada, that is required. That is required. Just following instruction is not enough. It's not enough. Why? Because following instruction, sometimes doubt will come, and if I have a god brother and other well-wisher friends who are also have a strong faith to Guru, their association will make my faith to my Guru more stronger. So it is necessary to follow instruction and associate with those devotees who are also helping me to serve the same spiritual master in a stronger way. This is called humility. One time Srila Prabhupada was asked, what is the definition of humility? He said, do something bold to please Krishna. In India, if you go there and you tell them, Hanuman was so angry in Lanka, he burned down the entire. What do you think about humbleness? He was not humble, he was angry. They don't understand the humility definition. Humility is a quality, Srila Prabhupada said, that which is absent in the exploitation world. That means karmi can never become humble. What they think of humble, like little quiet, like that is not humility. Humility means I never see my position ever from the servitorship of my spiritual master. Whatever he says, that instruction is everything for me. That is humility, and I act on it. So in this chapter also, later on we'll see that Malay Daja, who was a pure devotee, and after Puranjana, who was previous life Puranjana and this life became Vidarbhi, or the daughter of King Vidarbha, because of the attachment. There's so much discussion in this, that if at the moment of death comes, even for a devotee, whatever source become the main source, it can be wife, can be husband, can be Hare Krishna chanting, can be serving deity, can be any service, if we can draw some taste. Otherwise there is a danger. This chapter also teaches this. That previous chapter says that Puranjan, when he was coming to a point where disgusting feeling came and he was disappointed by defeated in the body is going to collapse and die. And it came to a point where he started repenting. Srila Prabhupada said that opened the door of liberation. At that time, everything, just before that, everything, all the relationship in this world disappeared. One thing only remained in the memory. What was it? The attachment that gave me pleasure the most. So if I'm drawing pleasure through serving Prabhupada, then I'll go where he is. But if I'm drawing pleasure the most in my life from my wife, or from my husband, or from my income, whatever it is, that will stay. Everything else will disappear. But problem is, if I am attached to my wife, I will become a girl like her. So that's what Puranjan happened. Puranjan was attached to his wife and then transformed as a daughter of King Vidarbha. So with this Vidarbhi, but good thing was, you may say, how she was fortunate to marry a pure devotee. That question might rise. Because if originally when soul came to this world, Srila Prabhupada writes in this canto, 4th canto, that first birth was human being. And then later on in 9th canto you will hear, Prabhupada also says that the Brahma's first birth was also for Brahma. Both are there, it's not a question or argument. And the human birth, why it is human birth, Prabhupada writes and translate in purport, he elaborates again. Because human birth is the only birth that actually gives karma. The animal does not do karma. They are in evolution cycle of 8 million. 400,000 is only does the karma. So human life began with karma, and then while the human life become very successful in gross material enjoyment, then the false pride comes. And Srila Prabhupada said when false pride comes, then he wants to do unrestricted enjoyment. When he does unrestricted, this is the gradual progression how all the species came. Very nice purport he gave in this chapter. That from the unrestricted enjoyment, what comes? Bikarma. Means he will do something not recommended in the scriptures. hidingly, illegal activities, then he will automatically contaminated to the demoniac nature. Prabhupada gives gradual progression. Then from demoniac nature, he will want to explode this Raja and Tama, and as a result, he want to enjoy and start killing animal, become violence. He sees that animal also has a rightful ownership to live in this world, but he will not allow. He opens slaughterhouse or something like this, or he eat meats. What will be the result? Mercy disappear from his consciousness. When mercy disappears, then what happens? He becomes envy more and more, and then to gratify his senses, he wants to, like for an example, Prabhupada gave an example how a human become a pig. You all heard it, that he had to go through some training in hell where there was no food for a long time, and then throws a little stool, and then he cannot take it. In a morning walk also Prabhupada put this, he narrated this. And then, but he's starving like anything, then he takes a little bit, I'm so hungry, he's like screaming, no food, then he puts some or other in the mouth and says, it's not that bad. The moment he said it's not that bad, immediately come back to Trinidad or India somewhere, he takes a pig body. So this transmigration all comes from the human being, from the unrestricted bikarma. Lord is merciful. He manifested Veda from the beginning of human birth. But Veda regulates us. The problem with this process also, with the following Veda, that's why Srila Prabhupada is adamant sometimes. Why follow Guru? Just follow Guru. It is the summary substance. Because if you really think analytically, one purport in the first canto, Sudha Goswami gives, and Prabhupada gave a very nice purport that if you think you want to know what is truth, any truth, and Jiva Goswami writes there is a 10 way you can find the truth. Pratyaksha, Aparoksha, Paroksha, Anuman, like this, 10 process. 10 process to find the truth, what is truth. But then he established, Shabda Praman is the only truth. Everything else fades. And there's a whole elaborate explanation. We can go on for a couple hours. That how everything fades with the example. Only Sabda Brahma, which is transcendental, beyond the sense perception, can be established and can be approached to approach spiritual science. No other process. Yes, direct, indirect, we can accept on the basis of Sabda Brahma. Direct perception cannot be directly like this. So then question comes, if you accept the Sabda Brahma is the only process to approach. Sabda Brahma means whatever Srila Prabhupada says, that's all it matters. We follow this. This is Sabda Brahma. Because he is situated in that existence of Sutta Sabda. Whatever Prabhupada says, that is the highest truth. When somebody has that strong faith, he will be approaching the Sabda Brahma. Then question comes, Sabda Brahma manifested as a Veda. All the Vedic literature came. How do we know which Veda to follow, what instruction to follow? You read Shiva Puran, Tamasic Puran, Rajasic Puran, then you will be developing different worshipping process. So then Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that you cannot really become a Vedic follower, you'll be confused if you only follow Veda. Why? Because underlying principle of essential purpose of Veda is in the heart of a pure devotee. In the heart of 12 Mahajans, in the heart of a great sadhus. Then question may come, how do we know who is a sadhu, who is a Mahajan? Prabhupada put this question in the purport and he answers. Then he comes to a point, only by the mercy you can know. When the sadhu give the mercy, then you can know that he is a sadhu, he knows Krishna. Because all this argument and logic failed in the Gopinath and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's discussion. Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya both saw Lord Chaitanya is lying down in unconscious state. And Gopinath Acharya says he is Supreme God. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says don't be fanatic, he is not Supreme God. I see a 24 years old
innocent, sannyasi, sentimental. I have to train him up so he can grow up as a Brahman realization like this. But what is the ultimate conclusion of that pastime? Athavite deva padam bujadayo janati prasadalesha anugrihita evahi janati tattam bhagavan mahimnam nacha annam chiram vichinnam. Prabhupada elaborate these verses, Brahmaji's prayers, that without mercy of a Vaishnava, you cannot even know Vaishnava. What to talk about God? Not possible. Without Vaishnava. Therefore, Guru's instruction is most important. Sometimes we wonder, I'm following my Guru, decades, I'm not getting result. In Purana, one story is like this, many pastimes. So one disciple came to Guru, Gurudev, you told me to chant Hare Krishna, I'm chanting, but what's supposed to happen? I'm feeling like saying, I don't know. Can you make me, please Gurudev, you have to pray. You have to pray, Prabhupada. You have to pray. It does not matter where we are, we have to pray. Encourage each other to pray to Prabhupada. In our own world, we must come close. Srila Prabhupada is so merciful in Nectar of Devotion. 24th chapter he says, when a disciple really feels need of his spiritual master, he cries. That tears, Prabhupada says, become the extinguishing to extinguish the material existence. You want to be liberated, you want to be free from suffering? Well, you better see with the devotee association how important is Srila Prabhupada and your Gurudev is needed in your life. If you really feel, then you will cry for his mercy. And if you cry, Srila Prabhupada said, that tears, in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada said, 24th chapter, he said that tears becomes the extinguisher to remove the material suffering. Until that, very secret, Rupa Goswami Padaya says, that when the disciple cry, that separation feeling from Guru actually brings the disciple the closest proximity of Guru's lotus feet. So crying is required. Praying to the lotus feet of Guru is required. So this disciple, he cried. He cried and cried and cried. Guru says, what's the problem? He says, Gurudev, I'm not seeing anything, I'm chanting for a long time. Hey, go see outside, there is a calf just took birth. The neighbor has a cow, there is a calf. Go chant the calf. Chanting Hare Krishna. Believe that your Guru instructed you, you should go and chant. So disciple said, alright, I'm a fired up brahmachari. I can do that. I was chanting for so many decades. I'm not seeing what's supposed to happen. So he went there and he started chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then he opened his eyes. Supposed to happen something? Nothing I see. He chanting again for a while. And then calf died. Then the owner comes, he said, what are you doing, Sadhu? You chanting, my calf died. He said, I don't know, my Guru told me. So they respect the Guru's instruction, even the neighbor. Yeah, probably calf was sick, somehow or other he died. So he comes back, he tells his Guru, well, I went to chant the calf and calf died. Alright, so do you believe, what to believe, Gurudev, that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra kills a calf? He said, no, this is not the understanding. Alright, keep on chanting. So Gurudev, I want to feel more, I want to see more. He said, alright, the other side, there is a whole bunch of bulls going around making the paddy separate from the grain. I don't know if in India they do that. So he went there and he started chanting, following his Guru's instruction. And he chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He was surprised that bull also died. He was a little scared, but he was a little skeptical. When he comes back to his Guru, Gurudev, it's very strange happened. Other day calf died, he told me to do chanting to the calf. Today I went to the bull died. So what did you realize? I think the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a murderer. So no, this is not the understanding of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra has two purposes. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives this. Hari Sabde Nana Artha Dui Mukkhatama Sarva Amangala Hare Prema Diya Hare Mana. In Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, Srila Prabhupada translates that this mantra Hari has a many meaning, but two are the most important. All inauspicious that you ever accumulated, called anarthas, will disappear in the beginning. And at the end, when all anarthas disappear, it will force you to drink the nectar of ambrosial divine loving service of the divine couple, Radha Krishna. You cannot escape. If you chant Hare Krishna, you cannot escape from not being happy forever. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful, it will drown you into ecstasy. When Mahaprabhu was challenged by Prakasananda Saraswati Thakur, he said, alright, you look like us, one of us, you are Mayavadi, I am Mayavadi, but your behavior does not match ours. This is what bothers us. Why are you going on the street and just chanting, dancing and crazy sentimentalist? Mahaprabhu says, I did not chant and dance and went crazy ecstasy. I was following my Guru's instruction. My Guru says, Guru, Murkha tumi tumar nahi ko Vedanta adhikar, Krishna mantra japa kiya, ei mantra sa. You are a fool. You don't have a eligibility to understand Vedanta. Only thing you can do is the best thing. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I was not doing anything except I am following my Guru's instruction. Then Prakashananda Saraswati Thakur replied, but why you are crying and doing? Say, I am not crying or doing anything. Krishna Nam Mahamantra Eito Sabha. Je Krishna Jabe, Tare Upajoya Bhava. One who chant, the chanting Mahamantra making that person cry. I am not crying. The Krishna Nam makes me to be in ecstasy. If Krishna Nam makes me to be rolling on the ground, Krishna Nam makes me the hair stands on my hand. I am not doing it. It is the power of the Mahamantra makes me to do that. I was not trying to do anything else. I am just following Guru's instruction. And all the things that you saw, it is the nature of Hare Krishna Mahamantra makes the soul go through. It is such an ecstasy. Then Prakashananda could not answer anything because he said he is not doing anything. So this brahmachari, when he says that this Mahamantra is a murderer, then Guru says, oh, this conclusion is not good. Alright, our king in this village just got a baby, first time in his life. He was waiting for this child. So go and chant this new baby. And the disciples started panicking. You know why? Yeah, if the baby gets killed, guess what happened to Brahmachari? He's thinking that the king will kill me too. But he was loyal to his Guru. This is the point. He was so loyal to his Guru. And he went. And he went there. And they said that Guru of this village sent his prominent disciple to give a special mantra to the newly born. The king immediately allowed, yes, please come. So he comes and the disciple is very happy, Brahmachari is very happy, but inside he is also worried. What will happen? I hope it doesn't happen. It's like he's already forecasting what the future should be. That is not a good idea. Let future in the hand of Guru and Krishna. They will do whatever is best. So what happened? As a point that he was, with his nervousness, he went there and finally he saw the baby in the crib and he's thinking, Gurudev, you're going to protect me. Gurudev, I don't know what's going to happen. He wants to start chanting, but in his mind he's praying so much, nobody see it. King, queen did not see that he was so nervous. And he started crying, Gurudev, you are the only my shelter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Gurudev, if anything happens, I don't want to die, I want to serve you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Gurudev, miracle, make it happen, please. Gurudev, Hare Krishna, Krishna. He is chanting, but in the mind he is praying. so intense, he really surrendered completely. He came to a point, whatever happened, it's the mercy of Guru, and I'll take it, whether I die or live, it doesn't matter. I accepted him, it's my all in all, like God, and I'll do it. As he finished chanting, all of a sudden, child died. Child is not moving, no talking. For hours he's chanting. Then the king asked the nurse, head nurse, is the baby okay? But the disciple don't want to hear anything. He's just chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, child died. And his intensity, Gurudev, whatever happened is fine. For your pleasure, I am following you. And this is the highest goal of life. Bhayam ditya viniveshatasya ishat apitasya viparjaya asmiti. Bhayam, the fear, only comes when I do not see Guru and Krishna backing everything in this world for my world. If I do not see Guru Krishna, then fear, bhayam, ditya, the secondary world appears. That there is a world without Guru and Krishna for me. I don't want to see it. The fear will disappear. And he became fearless, and he was chanting. Then all of a sudden, a beautiful divine form just appeared from nowhere. And everybody thought that was Krishna. The king was shocked. He never met God face to face. Queen, everybody bowed down. He said, no, I'm your son. I'm not God, Krishna. I'm your son. I finally found the ultimate goal that I was many lives. I was trying to do bhajan. This life, by the mercy of my Guru, this brahmachari is my Guru, has delivered me finally. I got my spiritual body. I just came here to pay my obeisances to him. This brahmachari was shocked. He didn't know what is happening, this holy name producing. He was so surprised. And this boy, he paid obeisance. He just looked like a Krishna, beautiful bluish color. You know, in Golok Vrindavan, you have a whitish Balaram color or Krishna color. Many boys. You know that there's name Stoko Krishna, one of the 12 boys. You know why they call Stoko Krishna? Bhatta Krishna, those two names. Because they look like just like Krishna. But he's little shorter in the height. That's why it's called small Krishna. But he looks like Krishna. His body, eyes, figure, everything. And so like this, that's how the form of the coward boys are. Two color. Balaram color and Krishna color, like this. So, this boy looked like just like Krishna, but he's not Krishna. He revealed that he's actually that king's son. This is his final destiny. He wanted to glorify his Guru's position, who went through a little turmoil to experience that what Hare Krishna Mahamantra does. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the most merciful. It will give you, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra will destroy all your suffering. After diminishing all the suffering, then it will bring you to the, it says in Harinam Chintamani, also Navadit Dhammayatma, Kono bhagye kono jive shraddha jodi hoy, tabe sei jiv dasya rase gauranga bajay. Dasya paripakke jabe jiver hridaye, si madhur rasude murtiman hoye. সে সময়ে ভজনীয় তত্ত্ব গৌর হরি রাধা কৃষ্ণ রূপে হয় ব্রজে অবতরে। If we follow instruction of Guru and serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhaktivinoda Thakur assuring here, you don't need any other endeavor. Just serve your Guru, Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu. That time, Mahaprabhu himself will arrange for you when your servitorship surrendering complete. What you will do? He will manifest himself as a Radha Krishna. He is non-different from Radha Krishna. And take you. You can be in Trinaran according to Prabhupada. You can be also in Vrindavan simultaneously, in Golok Vrindavan, not only in India, Vrindavan or Bhumadam. Srila Prabhupada in 3rd canto, 2nd chapter, Uddhava's repentance. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. Devotee can be in the physical world, in the physical body while serving their Guru, simultaneously can be in the spiritual world and serving the divine couple. This is the biggest phenomenon that we have to experience. When we chant Hare Krishna, Mahamantra. Mahaprabhu went to South India and he confronted two groups. And he says, that's why the whole purport is the following, how important it is. There are many stories of the ladies who followed the husband and got the highest example. Because of the time, I don't know. But in Ramanujacharya's case, many example is given. Just by following the pure devotee husband, they got the ultimate goal. Devotee got ultimate goal, following Kardamamani. So many examples. Even here, Vidarbhi, daughter of Vidarbha, King Vidarbha, just followed the Malay Dhaja. I don't want to elaborate the future classes going, but you will see what should be the situation or condition of the disciple when Guru leaves this world. Disciple should cry and cry. And disciple must execute the instruction of Guru. And if disciple cannot, he should die also with Guru. Srila Prabhupada gives like this. Means the existence of a brahmachari disciple or grihastha disciple has no value, should be counted if they are not following Guru's instruction. Everything is useless. So only those who are following the instruction of Guru, they are the alive disciple. Why I say alive? Because Prabhupada says, if you want to claim inheritance of your spiritual master and spiritual world, like Tate anukampa susamikshamano bunjane bhatma kritam vipakam ridbaka bhavavir vidadan namaste jive tajo mukti padeshodaya. Prabhupada says, in a morning walk, one should keep that verse on the throat. Means you can use that verse any moment you want. That is necessary, that verse. Two verses he mentioned. This is one of the verses. So in that verse he says, you will become inheritance, owner of your father's property. But in order to enjoy your father's property, one thing you have to do, you have to stay alive. Don't die. And to stay alive means following instruction of your spiritual master. Clear prophecies. Any devotee who is following the instruction of spiritual master and accepting means consciously understood, this is my goal of life. It's my backbone, that to follow instruction of my Guru. Whatever the Shastra says is important. I respect the Shastra, but Shastra summarized to this bottom point. Why? Because my Guru is a doctor who knows the disease I have individually, and he saw the entire medicine cabinet called Veda. He gave a particular instruction, just follow this. No need separate endeavor. Separate endeavor should not be given too much focus. Only focus should be the endeavor of pleasing Guru. And in this way, we will see ultimately we will be completely happy forever. And there's many examples given that even Srila Prabhupada's own life, that Prishima, his sister, because I just saw her picture somewhere, I don't know, somebody's house. Because I was carrying her palanquin in early days to take her from her room to Prabhupada's room in Mayapur. She used to go in a kind of a palanquin, not palanquin, but something like carrying, four devotee carrying. And she went through heavy struggle in life. One time, Prishima, very heavy struggle. And Srila Prabhupada was a family man that time. So she came and cried. She had a lot of respect. She's not only his sister, she's a God sister. She's a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So she told to Prabhupada, I can't take it anymore. My husband, he's a womanizer. And he drinks. He eats fish. Prishima's husband. He was so bad. So Prishima says, I don't want to divorce, I don't want to get out, but I don't know what to do. Srila Prabhupada had a compassionate affection for his sister. He said, where is the deity of Radha Govinda that you had? As a child, Gaur Mohan De, their father, gave it also a set of deity to Prishima. She said, well, since I got married, I stopped worshipping because I was following my husband. But then he's going off with weird things. Srila Prabhupada said, I think you should start worshipping Radha Govinda Ji. Deity worship is very important for householder. Very important. But for sannyasi, they already have the deity that they worship as a householder in their heart, so they don't have to worship. They can, but they don't have to. One time Srila Prabhupada in a morning walk, he plucked an apple, and he took a bite. Hamsudat Maharaj says, Prabhupada, you didn't offer it. It's very funny. And then Prabhupada says, don't you know that sannyasi has a Lord in the heart? We offer immediately, you cannot see it. So I'm glad he asked and Prabhupada revealed them. Sannyasi means they carry the deity. So when you go to sannyasi or advanced devotee, they have the deity, they have Bhagavan in their heart. So they give. Like when you see Guru Prasad Swami, you may think, oh, he's not carrying deity. He has deity, but he has to show you the eye to see. He carries deity in his heart. All the devotees, they carry deity in their heart. So that time Prabhupada told her, you worship. Can you do something more than that? Why don't you just tolerate and serve your husband with Krishna consciousness? She was so loyal, she followed Prabhupada. It's like Guru, even though he's God brother, but it's like a Guru. And she did for 1 year. Even though he was womanizer and eating meat and all that, but Bhishma would cook every day. And she would offer to the deity, feed him prasadam. She would wash his clothes and serve him as per. Why? Because she has the interest to purify that soul. It's tough job, tough love they call in America. But Samarada, she did for that period of time. Then one day he just came out, was drunk, and Samarada got sick, so sick, he was about to die. She served him while he was so sick. He came out of the sickness and he felt horrible that what a beast he was. And he cried and apologized to his wife. I'm so sorry, you have done so much, I cannot believe that. I want to chant, I want to serve the Lord, I want to become a good man, I want to become a good devotee, I don't want to act what I did. And at the end he became a very advanced devotee and he left this world before Krishna. So this way tolerance is required for the leaders also, preachers, and we see that. Srila Prabhupada is the best example of that. Harisari Prabhu says one time, by mistake he locked the door in a room for Prabhupada because he was very tired, he wanted to rest. And then Prabhupada, at that moment, as soon as he went to the next door in Lotus building, and Prabhupada came and banging the door. Where is Harisari? Why he locked me out? He was a little upset. For an hour he didn't even show up, and Prabhupada could not go to the toilet. So after he comes back, and Prabhupada was very angry. Why you do such thing? You lock your Guru, you trying to control your Guru? So sometimes in our service we may see some mistake, but don't underestimate, because the compassion nature of the sadhus stands above all. Little later Prabhupada called him and said, do you know when you did that, I prayed to Krishna. Prabhu, they come from a different race that they don't understand the serving nature of their Guru. So I prayed to Krishna that he will deliver you, and I guarantee. Srila Prabhupada is so merciful. Then Harishwari Prabhu felt bad. I'm so sorry Prabhupada. He was exhausted. Materially calculation. But spiritually Prabhupada's compassion is unbelievable. Prabhupada's compassion is unbelievable. So following Guru is the best thing you can do. Sometimes Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, we have 1 minute, 5 minutes, how much time? Why I passed the time? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll just end with this. Sometimes the instruction of Guru has a very hidden meaning. Like this Guru Puja that we do, this Guru Puja was not there before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur in our Gauriya Parampara. 1874, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur on February, he took birth, or he appeared in this world. And 74 to 24 was 50th birthday, a big celebration on the Vyasa Puja of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Before that, they did not celebrate birthday. So they celebrated all the Guru's birthday on Vyasa Purnima, the Vyas Dev's appearance day. There's a Vyasa Purnima you celebrate here, right? Sometime? Yeah, Vyasa Purnima. There's one day, it's called Vyasa Purnima, was the day for all the Guru will be worshipped.
They call it Guru Purnima.
Guru Purnima, yeah, Vyasa Purnima, Guru Purnima, thank you. So Guru Purnima day, and from 1924, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur changed it. Why? Because of the emotional effect of the disciples showing gratitude. What is it? That I was here when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. When Narottam Das Thakur appeared, I was here in this world, but I had no connection. Who delivered me? You, the Guru. I was here when Lord Krishna was here 5,000 years, because all that soul within this universe can never get out. Without bhakti, you cannot get out. Even impersonalists. Without bhakti, they cannot even get out liberation. So all the souls within the universe loitering here, there, not possible to get out. How they got out? Impossible without bhakti. So I was here when Krishna was here, Lord Chaitanya was here, all the great Acharya, but I was not delivered. Who delivered me? This person, my Guru. So we worship, we love Prabhupada, we love our Gurudev more than anything else. Why? Because he had a compassion nature to deliver me. He had an interest for delivering me, that in my pursuance you will come to a point where you will see your interest, whatever way you want to be happy. He has calculation million times more than my own calculation for my own happiness. Seeing that his compassionate nature makes me so happy in eternally, will be more than my own calculation, I submit. When somebody, imagine you want to make some profit, you make $1,000 a week, and somebody show you how to make 10,000 a week, will you not feel grateful to that person? Of course. You want to invite that person to your house. Instead of making 1,000, he's showing me how to make 10,000. And if somebody comes and show you, I can teach you how to make 100,000 a week, what you will do? You will surrender to that guy almost. We surrender to Guru because of that. Because Guru has compassionate nature that calculated my happiness more than I can figure it out on my own. That's why we submit to Prabhupada. So in that calculation, 1924, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, why you are celebrating my birthday? From that day on, Vyasa Puja began. That on the birthday of each Guru. So the disciple asked in that question, it was a very nice lecture he gave. 3 questions. How do I understand you are following your Guru's instruction? Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he put it in his book. Your Guru told you not to go to Calcutta. Well, first thing you did, you went to Calcutta. Your Guru told you, they are humbly asking, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, this is their offering on the Vyasa Puja day. We want to know, your Guru said, do not make disciple. You made thousands of disciples already. Your Guru, Srila Guru Krishnadas Babaji instructed you, don't associate with non-devotees. But all the time you are associating, giving, preaching. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur took a humble position. He says, I never went to Calcutta. Then one disciple, Tirtha Maharaj, he says, but the first temple you opened is Ultadanga, Gaudiya Math in Calcutta. He said, no, I went to a place where the lotus feet of my Guru, which purifies the place, was needed the most. I went to that place. To you, you have seen Calcutta. To me, was the most important for my Guru's merciful nature to manifest. So he said, wherever my Guru Maharaj's lotus feet is required, I am carrying that lotus feet and establishing there to purify. This is a very nice attitude. Then they asked, oh, what about the disciple? He said, I have only 4 disciples. 2 hands and 2 legs. And they cooperate whatever I want to do. They go with me and they cooperate. But as for you all, are representative of my Guru. He has sent you. Same thing our Prabhupada mentioned. Because of that. They all have come to help me to fulfill the mission of my Guru Maharaj. And then the third question he says that you associating with, he said, no, I never associate. What is association? And he quoted, Sammak Rupe Anugamanam is Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means the word Sadhu Sangha. Sammak Rupe Anugamanam Sangha. If you break down Sa-anga, Sammak Rupe Anugamanam. I am carrying the instruction of my spiritual master and trying to distribute whoever need the most. And you happen to see them, Mayavadi, Sahajiya and all this misconception non-devotees. But I do not see them. I see them, they belong to Krishna. They belong to my Guru Maharaj's mercy. So I give the distribution of my Guru Maharaj's mercy. This is how the best puja took place. Gaur Pramanande Hare Hare. Is there any question or comment or any suggestion? Yes, Prabhu. Is that okay? Sure.
Prabhu, pertaining to last night class that you gave, you were speaking about death and you go through what you go through when you're dying, right? I would like to know, what pain would you feel at that moment of death?
When you are dying?
Yeah.
What kind of pain do you feel?
Or what kind of pain? That according to Puranjan and Kapil Dev's story, Kapil Dev spoke to his mother about this also, the birth and death. Every soul, for a non-devotee, whatever the pain they cause to anybody, while you're driving, you kill the ants, bugs, you have to experience that pain you caused. So I cannot say what pain, what experience, but whatever anybody, if somebody eat meat, the pain that cow went through, they have to experience. They cannot escape from it. That's why Srila Prabhupada says it is 792,000 miles from here to hell. And this road, the soul will be taken. He will go through every experience that he caused suffering. While he experiences, he will do two things. He will apologize, and that's how the sin is being removed. Because the purpose to go to hell, not for only to suffer more, to get a new body that he is meant to get, and there will be training. It apparently hellish, but that's the training. So every experience, if I cause somebody humiliation, if I cause somebody, even as a devotee, even devotee has to go through. Not to the hell, but if I cause other devotee, stop chanting, if I cause other devotee not to come close to Prabhupada and Gurudev, then I will also go through some suffering. Srila Prabhupada gave in the purport that Kanishta Bhakta, materialistic devotees, sometimes see their Guru. Like sometimes we see, even within our ISKCON society, sometimes we see that some Guru is sick or something, and they estimate, oh, is he pure devotee, why is he sick? Srila Prabhupada knew this, so he put in the purport, sometimes neophyte devotee, they don't understand that this is not the quality to see Guru. They should see how much absorption he has, how much loyalty he has to Prabhupada. Prabhupada didn't say, but that's what he meant to me. He said, they should see the spiritual quality, how much their personality is engaged to serve Guru Krishna. He should focus that instead of seeing my Guru is sick, was he a sinful reaction of this, that, so many ways. This is a materialistic devotee. So devotee do not suffer in a sense. Especially those who are leading devotees, those who are acting as a good preacher, they do not suffer. But realistically, there is 5 perception is there. One is like Madhavendra Puri. You may say Madhavendra Puri, Prabhupada writes, he was passing stool on the bed and Ishwar Puri had to clean everything. Prabhupada gave in the purport. So why Madhavendra was going through suffering? Apparently, no, he was not going through suffering. But he has to allow the disciple to serve him. He did not allow. So Ishwar Puri served. At one point Madhavendra Puri said, you are such a loving, disciple of mine, I am not worth of taking your service. I pray to Krishna that you get love of God, and he embraced. That moment, Prabhupada writes, he was transformed into crying. And the same Ishwar, when he gave the blessing to Lord Chaitanya, he felt the same thing. That's how the Guru disciple comes. So there's sometimes some Guru may go through some apparently suffering. For a devotee I'm saying, for Karmi we already explained that, or we can discuss later. So it appears like this. Another reason also sometimes, Srila Prabhupada says, in this, actually couple chapters before, that Prabhupada says sometime I wish they would allow their Guru, he's talking about himself, Prabhupada, they would allow their Guru to do some bhajan and writing, so sometimes Guru also become sick. Now sometimes misconception is there, like Madan Mahaprabhu says, one time Prabhupada had a runny nose, so he's taking some napkins to blow. So disciple thought Prabhupada got cold. So Prabhupada in the class he said, sometimes you feel ecstasy and overwhelmed, but my disciple think I have a cold, runny nose. So sometimes what we see with the advanced devotee, not necessarily. Like in Holland, the famous story, in Holland, Prabhupada was a little bit serious, and the devotee, after 3 days, they could not take it anymore. They thought, we must ask, Prabhupada, are you okay? He said, yes. Well, it seems like something disturbing you. Your face is very grave and you are like morose. Prabhupada says, I never have been happy in my life like this. But I did not know how to control this. I'm feeling so ecstasy. So I become very serious. But I'm sorry, unfortunately you see me, I'm morose and serious. Yes, I'm trying to control. I don't want to, publicly expose like this, feeling like too much fiery happy, So like this, what we see, we should not calculate like this with the devotee. That's my request. Do not ever underestimate the advanced devotees. Oh, is he okay? No, he probably in ecstasy, just trying to be serious. So we may see like this. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll discuss more later.